He knew her favorite coffee order. He called her by a childhood nickname no one had used in years, Lulu. Details she never shared online or told anyone recently. The man she met on a blind date wasn't just some charming stranger. He was her stalker. And this is the story of how she found out. It began with something ordinary, a friend playing matchmaker. After months of failed dating apps and awkward first meetings, a woman named Lisa gave in when her close friend, Chloe, suggested a blind date with someone perfect. Chloe had met the guy, Mark, during a work event. He seemed polite, well-spoken, and even a little shy. She thought he'd be a great fit for Lisa. They agreed to meet at a cozy cafe downtown. Lisa picked her outfit carefully, jeans, a soft sweater, and minimal makeup. She wasn't nervous, just curious. When she walked in, Mark was already seated near the window. He stood to greet her with a friendly smile. He looked exactly as described, clean-cut, charming, and seemingly genuine. Their conversation started light, hobbies, favorite shows, a bit about work. Lisa felt herself easing into the rhythm of the date. But then something odd happened. When the server came to take their order, Lisa opened her mouth to speak, but Mark cut in first. "She'll have a large caramel latte with oat milk. And I'll have a black coffee." Lisa froze. That was exactly what she would have ordered, down to the milk substitute. It wasn't something she posted about or shared on social media. She blinked, unsure whether to be flattered or unsettled. Trying to play it cool, she laughed it off. "Good guess," she said. Mark just smiled, the kind of smile that said it wasn't a guess at all. The rest of their conversation continued, but the mood had shifted, at least for Lisa. Her senses sharpened. She noticed everything now, the tone of his voice, how confidently he spoke, the way he seemed to anticipate her reactions. Then, out of nowhere, he leaned forward and said, "You're just as stubborn as you were when you were a kid, Lulu." That nickname, Lulu, hit her like a punch to the chest. No one had called her that in years. It was a private name, used only by her late grandmother and parents. It was never online, never mentioned to Chloe, never even texted. Lisa felt the blood drain from her face. The background noise of the cafe seemed to fade. This wasn't coincidence. This wasn't charm. This man had been watching her for a long time. Her heart pounded in her ears. Lisa tried to stay calm as Mark continued smiling, sipping his coffee like everything was fine. She forced a polite smile and stood up slowly. "Excuse me, I think I need to use the restroom," she said, trying to sound casual. Mark nodded, never breaking eye contact. "Of course. Take your time." But Lisa didn't go to the restroom. She walked straight out the front door, her steps quickening until she was outside and breathing in the cold air. She didn't stop walking. Then she started running, not stopping until she was several blocks away. Once she caught her breath, she called Chloe. The shock in her voice was undeniable. Chloe was horrified, swearing up and down that she barely knew the guy. They'd met at a conference, exchanged some casual work emails, that's it. That night, Lisa filed a police report. The officers didn't dismiss her fears. In fact, when they checked Mark's background, what they uncovered was disturbing. There were multiple restraining orders against him, some in other states. One case involved a woman whose childhood church he had attended, despite having no ties there. Another claimed he showed up to university lectures she was enrolled in, sitting quietly in the back like he belonged. And then there was Lisa. Through internet archives and old forum posts, police discovered Mark had been tracing her life for over a decade, using alumni lists, old yearbooks, even PTA event recordings from her school. It was clear this wasn't a new obsession. He'd been watching her since she was a teenager. Lisa's blind date was never meant to be a romantic night out, it was a calculated step in a long-term obsession. What's worse is that she never even knew it was happening. It took legal action, therapy, and time to begin piecing her life back together. But the psychological damage lingered. She found herself triple-checking locks, jumping at phone calls from unknown numbers, and scanning faces in crowds. Stalking isn't about love, it's about control. And it leaves deep, invisible scars. Common person perspective. This story is a chilling reminder that the most dangerous people aren't always strangers in dark alleys, sometimes, they're the ones sitting across the table with a smile. Mark didn't break into her home. He didn't threaten her physically. But he violated her privacy, her trust, and her sense of safety. And he did it under the guise of affection. In an age where personal details are just a click away, it's never been more important to be careful about who we trust. Because not all predators hide in the shadows, some walk right up to the front door, holding a cup of coffee. Do you have a story like this or know someone who does? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's break the silence. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more true stories and honest perspectives.